It can only be attributable to human error.
You're entering paranormal.
He meddled in things that you keep so far. He meddled in things. He meddled in things.
Where will we go next? It's a phantom from another time.
No one, Mr. Muller.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex Daikaiju. To my left,
Jasmine with.
across from us,
Eli Watson.
and floating across the room is the little fly that
Yeah!
keeps buzzing in and out. And we are Cryptid
Cryptid
Campfire.
That's the latest experiment. They turned Stefan into a fly.
Oh
so
no!
he would like to talk to us about this, but unfortunately he's unable.
Unfortunately, he's got to buzz off for the time being, and it's just the three of us. Alex, Jasmine, Eli today. They hauled Stefan off to a room, turned him into a fly. We'll hopefully turn him back next week. We'll find out. So if you guys remember last week, we were floating around in a big UFO. Talked about some abductions. Talked about the first publicized.
That wasn't last week.
No.
That was 2 weeks ago, my
Wha-
friend.
wha- I'm,
I know, it all feels weird. It's like a
think-
circle, but it's not a real circle. It's
am
a
I
freaky circle.
experiencing lost time?
Maybe.
Whoa. I mean, there's no clock. They don't put clocks on UFOs too, like casinos, so you don't know how long you've been.
Nah, dude, we're just put in this circle room. We're burning plastic and
Yeah.
just trying to survive.
Trying to keep from stepping on Stefan as a fly. But yeah, so 2 weeks ago?
Yes, our first episode was when we talked about abductions.
Because last week, my friend, do you remember we talked about
Oh.
Phoenix Forgotten?
Yes,
The
I
Phoenix
forgot it
Lights.
already. Phoenix, forgotten. Moving on. Yeah, so we talked about alien abductions, the hills, Phoenix Lights, and today we're talking about.
A real hootenanny called the Battle of L.A.
Oh yeah, it puts the hoot in hootenanny.
This is actually funny because we determined that we wanted to talk about this during the, I almost said production meeting, but it wasn't a production meeting. During the
when we had the board meeting with all the aliens.
during the meeting when we sat down to talk about what we wanted to discuss in these episodes, Eli brought up the Battle of LA,
Mm-hmm.
and we were all just like, okay.
Yeah.
And I did all my research for it, and I was ready to go. And then Eli,
Jasmine was like, "What's that?" I said, "Let's talk about that Battle of L.A." And you're like, "What's that?"
anyway,
Sorry.
Eli,
I'm feeling goofy. All the plastic's getting to my brain.
Eli sent us a message and was like, wait, guys, I don't think we should talk about this. And I was like, too bad. I did all my research already. We're talking about it.
We're going for it. Government be damned.
Because this is what happened, alright? So I know about the Battle of LA, we'll explain it. I believed for the longest of times that it was aliens. Then I did some research and decided that it wasn't. But then Jasmine said we're doing it anyway. So I just kept doing more research, and then I was like, maybe it is aliens. So right now, I don't know where I'm at. But maybe you guys will help me.
Yeah.
But,
So here's the story. This was a real thing that happened.
yes, this
Yes.
actually happened. But can I set up some background information
Yeah.
for some people? Because it occurred in 1942.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so maybe we all don't know a whole lot about history here, but this
Listen up, plebes.
was only 11 weeks after the Pearl Harbor bombing
Mm-hmm. December 7th, 1941.
in 1941. So this takes place in February of the next year. So there's this whole paranoia going on in
Mhm.
America, right? So, for example, in Juneau, Alaska, people were told to cover their windows every night for a nightly blackout because there were rumors of Japanese subs were up there in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
There was rumors of a Japanese aircraft carrier off the coast of the San Francisco area.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a blackout of the Oakland city and in Oakland.
Yeah.
And people
all over Northern California, they were doing like blackouts
Yeah.
and like pretend raids.
Yeah.
Paranoia
In fact,
was everywhere.
Rumors were so bad that 500 U.S. Army troops were moved into
Oh.
Walt Disney Studios, like right here in Burbank, to defend it and other facilities from air raids. Which I think is funny because if there was going to be an air raid, I don't think 500 land troops were actually going to be able to do anything.
They were basically just bodies to protect the film reels of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but from a bomb from the sky.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Duh.
So, and in fact,
Oh.
sorry, go ahead.
This might be the point you were gonna say about 2 days before.
Oh, I have 1 day before.
Oh, is it
Santa Barbara?
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
it for February 23rd. It happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Um,
does the air raid not occur on February 24th? Oh, okay, never mind. Go
Oh,
ahead. Go ahead.
okay,
Like
so-
2 days before.
Yeah, so 2 days before in Santa Barbara, there was actually a Japanese sub off the coast.
And actually shot.
It shot at an oil field and a refinery.
Mhm.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It hit. There was only minimum damage, no casualties.
People say the damage was only $500
Yeah,
worth of equipment.
which is, I mean, but still, like 1942 for oil. So that's kind of.
Yeah.
That's a big penny, but still, but that's crazy. We had Japanese subs actually off the coast of California
Shooting at us.
shooting at us during World War II. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's so
Mhm.
crazy.
It was the first time that the mainland of the U.S. had been bombed during the World War
Mhm.
I think it's
II.
the only time, right? Because I don't
I
think it
wouldn't
ever
know. I am not
I
a
mean, I know
history
there's
buff.
technicalities too about
Right,
like this
but-
and that, but maybe during actual wartime with an enemy,
Think-
the enemy just like showed up and actually filed missiles and hit American equipment to land.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 2 days before the raid that happened, the
Yeah.
battle, and then I
But
think
basically, the point we're trying to make here is that people are paranoid. People believe that Japan is going to storm the coast at any moment, which actually they did.
Mhm.
Up in Alaska, up in Unalaska, they landed troops in the islands of Kiska and Attu.
Mhm.
I don't really know what that is, but basically they actually landed troops here, but not where this sighting occurred.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff is happening in Northern California. We're talking about Los Angeles.
Mhm.
So basically we have like 500 troops at Walt Disney Studios.
And they're ready to go.
And-
They're
and-
looking for action.
But there's also a bunch of anti-aircraft cannons set up around the
Mhm.
city.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know what anti-aircraft means, because I didn't,
Mhm.
I'm not well versed in war or weapons. I was like, what the heck is an anti-aircraft? Like, what does it mean? It's a gun that's on the ground to shoot aircrafts out of the air.
It's like the big giant one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like, all right, say your prayers, and it shoots like a 3-inch bullet, artillery rounds. Now
And they
imagine
say-
what happens when you shoot one of them guns in L.A.
Bad stuff.
Yeah.
But
But so the time, paranoia, like people
Paranoia.
are freaking out
Mhm.
all over the state, but California especially, because the coast is right there.
Mhm.
We've had confirmed submarine attacks. 11 weeks ago, in this time period, Pearl Harbor happened.
Mhm.
It's wild time.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then, February 25th, 3
Well,
o'clock in the
24th,
morning.
on the
yeah.
24th they announced, the U.S. government issues out that to keep an eye out because there might be a possible air raid
Keep
over
posted.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So that's already. Japanese could attack at any minute. Hey, I'll also keep an eye out for an air raid that could
Yeah.
happen at any moment.
But go about your daily lives, everybody.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind death and destruction around the corner.
Okay, continue.
But yeah, so it is. I believe at 2 in the morning on February 25th, 1942, radars beep that there's an object 150 miles from LA heading in that direction, I believe.
Yeah.
And so by 3 o'clock, I think it enters into the LA area,
Mm-hmm.
and then basically just shit hits the fan.
Yeah, so this radar picked up this object, but there were also a number of witnesses who reportedly saw a large round object in the skies over Culver City and Santa Monica. They described it as being pale orange in color and glowing. So this is where this whole story we're about to tell is going to be very chaotic.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what was happening, was chaos. So there's this sighting of this weird thing, and then radar picks up something that's threatening.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, 2 o'clock in the morning, the air raid warning system went into action for the first time, and the U.S. Army announced the approach of hostile aircraft. So tens of thousands of citizens were awakened by the screech of sirens and the popping of shells, because what happened here is anti-aircraft guns and searchlights began to comb the skies over LA as they tried to find this rumored enemy aircraft that had been picked up on radar and this strange thing that people had been seeing in the air. So then over the next several minutes, it was legit like chaos.
Just shooting.
Yeah.
Just guns, like giant guns. Just,
You do the sound effects and we'll talk.
yeah.
Just to put people in the atmosphere.
And it's all at like 3 in the morning too.
Yeah. So literally 1,400 shells from gun crews at army posts along the coastline went into the air.
For the next
and
90 minutes.
I don't think it was it 90 minutes.
It was
Said
about an
90
hour. Soldiers are being told, just shoot.
Yeah.
What am I shooting at? Doesn't matter. Just shoot. Like, get that gun in the air, private.
Yeah. So
Get the gun and just pick up
it
the...
literally it appeared that LA was under attack.
Yeah.
But what they saw was not that. So basically, if you looked in the sky, the only thing you would see was smoke and the glare of gunfire. Like,
Mhm.
you couldn't really see anything that was happening. And this object that they had apparently seen and been shooting at was not affected by the guns. And it eventually drifted south towards Long Beach and then vanished from view. So...
Can I throw out some of the crazy things people supposedly saw?
Yeah, go.
What did they
Okay,
see?
so some people said that they saw, Japanese aircraft, obviously.
Just like a swarm of them in the
a
air.
swarm of
Just-
them flying in formation. People said they saw bombs falling. People said they saw enemy paratroopers landing.
Yeah.
People, there was one rumor of a plane crashing on the streets of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Actually.
Like Con Air style, just
Just
like
like-
going down the strip.
Yeah, but none of that actually happened.
Yeah.
It's complete chaos. It's just like people are seeing what they want to see, maybe.
Yeah.
Because the next day, when the sun came out, it was discovered that there had been no enemy attack. There was no
What?
There was no proof of enemy aircraft. There was
Right.
no ships shot down, no
crashed
planes.
no blown up buildings from a bomb.
Only blown up buildings from
Shrapnel. There was even an undetonated dud that crashed on a golf course
in Long Beach, right?
In Long Beach, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see if I can find that.
Could you imagine? Just
That would be insane.
It's like, oh, there's an undetonated bomb over on hole 8. Like, just play around, play through.
So the statement
You hit it
from
with your drive and it grows.
the Army's Western Defense Command read, "Although reports were conflicting and every effort is being made to ascertain the facts, it is clear that no bombs were dropped and no planes were shot down."
Did you say who said that?
Yeah, the Army's Western Defense Command.
Oh yeah. Cool.
You got, you have the Secretary of the Navy coming out about it.
Say who now?
Frank Knox.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
He said he attributed it to war nerves and a false alarm.
Uh-huh.
He said that's all it was.
But what was it?
False alarm.
That's the thing.
They had their
What?
They had their top men working on it.
Yeah.
Who? Top men.
Is that from Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
It was a little sketchy though, because things were contradicting when the first like statements came out.
The morning after, people were like, "What happened?"
Yeah. So Coastal Artillery Corps Colonel John Murphy later wrote, "Imagination could have easily disclosed many shapes in the sky in the midst of that weird symphony of noise and color, but cold detachment disclosed no planes of any type in the sky, friendly nor enemy."
Right.
So it's crazy to think that people can think that they're seeing
Mhm.
all of this stuff. And this was in a time where there was no like cell phone videos
Right.
being pulled out. There is a picture.
Imagine if there was though back then.
Yeah.
Bro, That'd be crazy.
All the Snapchat stories.
All the selfies people
Well,
are taking.
do you remember when they had the SpaceX launch last year?
Yeah.
I legit thought we were gonna, I thought we were gonna die. I thought aliens were coming to the world because I didn't know anything about this freaking SpaceX rocket launch. And I look in the sky and I see this giant bright light with things breaking off of it. It looks like an asteroid. It looks like a bomb. I didn't
Whoa.
freaking know what was happening. I literally thought that I was about to die. And I laughed because that's what I do when I get nervous.
it's the comedy of the moment.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die.
So the incident had been covered by local and national press, but no one could give a satisfactory explanation of what had caused the alarm. Like what even was
Set-
on
set it,
the
what
radar.
set it off?
Yeah. The good news is, at least nobody got hurt, right?
No, actually 5 people died from
Oh?
heart attacks and from car accidents caused during the blackout.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I want to ask. You guys did your research.
Uh-huh.
So, unfortunately, there are some casualties attributed to the Battle of Los Angeles. And you said you got 5 deaths?
I got 5 deaths.
You too as well?
I read on one article that there were 6.
Right.
But I looked at the more trusted sources and it was 5.
Okay, that's what I was wondering too, because I got that 6 popped up.
Yeah, and they said that they died from other reasons.
They said 3 of them died from friendly fire and 3 of them died from heart attacks.
Yeah.
And then the other articles I found say 5 died, all of them from heart attacks, and I believe 1 car crash happened. But so already you're getting people giving out weird answers, and already discrepancies between what happened.
Yeah.
With the casualties and the aftermath of it. Buildings had shrapnel in and out.
Mm-hmm.
People's houses got destroyed. I think one person's house just half of it just got destroyed.
Yeah.
Just sorry, I don't tell you.
Yeah.
I know. I've seen videos, a fairly recent video, a couple years back, I think, of people showing off the shrapnel that their parents have kept.
Yeah.
Over the years, just that fell out of the sky.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
It was the LA Times that had reported the 5 deaths, so
Mhm.
I think that's a pretty reputable source.
And I think I got
The La Times.
The La Times. I think I got History Channel also said about 5 people died.
Yeah.
So 5 popped up a lot, but I got that one. You found it too that said 6, and
Mm-hmm.
just for fun they added an extra person.
Just for fun.
So going back to the whole, what set off the alarm, what was on the radar, the Army's Western Defense Command in San Francisco initially attributed the incident to unidentified planes over Southern California. And again, this is when we said it was the result of war nerves and a false alarm. But there was another thing that happened not until 1983, 40 years later.
Are you talking about MJ-12?
I don't know what that is.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, what you talking about, Willis?
40 years later, the military concluded that the incident was possibly caused by a drifting weather balloon.
Oh, I've heard this story before.
Oh, it was in the foreground the whole time.
I watched a video, and I didn't take down any of this information because I didn't find it relevant at the time, but it is interesting to think about. I guess there were weaponized balloons at one point,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
and so...
Zeppelins?
No,
Like,
legit just weaponized
they-
balloons
they-
that they would send across borders to either explode or drop bombs. I don't know.
Weird.
So, yeah, they from what I can tell, they tried to weaponize balloons. I think the Japanese actually were trying to do this technique
Mm-hmm.
to where you have a balloon, you just have kind of like a dynamite on it. You just let the wind kind of take it. You take into effect trajectory. You send it off somewhere and you just shoot it, and the bomb falls over the target.
Damn.
Then there's also the tried to method of just taping a machine gun to a balloon and just having it fly around, wildly shooting everywhere.
Gangster, dude.
But yeah, so possible weather balloon.
Yeah, so this weather balloon story, the theory goes like this. Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
Stefan?
did you hear the fly?
Yeah.
Did you hear it go
Stefan, what
by?
do you need?
What you got? Stefan, stay away from that spider web.
So, supposedly,
Tragic death.
meteorological, wow.
Uh,
Why can't I say that word?
Meteorological.
Yeah, that.
The atmosphere in the UFO is a little,
It's
it's
all the
stanky
plastic.
in here.
So
all the plastic.
balloons had been released prior to the Battle of LA.
Balloons?
Weather balloons.
I don't know.
To help determine wind conditions.
Uh-huh.
And so essentially that was picked up on the radar. Everybody thought it was enemy ships, so they start shooting at it. And their lights and the silver color could have been what triggered these alerts.
Mm-hmm.
So once you start shooting at these silver reflective balloons, then it becomes a disorienting combination of searchlights, smoke, and gunfire that would have led the people on the ground to believe that they were firing on enemy planes even though none were actually present. So the shrapnel and the damage that they see falling from the sky, they actually mistake for more enemy planes.
Mm-hmm.
And so they shoot at the shrapnel of the things that they've already shot at. So there's a lot of possibilities. Like, there's the weather balloon possibility. There's the we saw planes, but they weren't actually enemy planes. They were just regular planes. We didn't really talk about that, but that was another possibility.
Could I say this one guy said he saw planes?
Yeah.
He was one of the guys actually firing the artillery rounds.
Okay.
His name's Charles Patrick, and he says, and I quote, "I could barely see the planes, but they were there all right. I could see 6 planes, and shells were bursting all around them." So, but then again, just as you said, mistaken identity, because, I mean, who's to say? It's all the way up there.
Yeah.
At night.
At night, and you already have spotlights and explosives going off, smoke in the air, you know. And I mean, all the lights probably from down LA too. I assume it still would have been kind of well lit late at night because LA just never sleeps.
But this is also 1942.
Before electricity, so that factors in.
Yeah, sure.
Everything was black and white back then, so they couldn't tell distance very well.
Oh my.
What's interesting about the plane quote that you just read about this guy claiming to have seen planes, you know, the fear was that they were Japanese. But after the war, the Japanese declared that they had not flown any planes over LA during the date of this happening.
That wasn't us, dude.
Yeah.
And actually, authorities arrested 20 Japanese Americans for allegedly signaling.
That sucks so bad. That's so.
I mean, that's already a big blot on American history.
Yeah.
Just the
internment camps
of them, but like the
Japanese
fact that this
Americans
happened
during World War II.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate that, because, you know, even if you do look at it and you say, all right, it was a weather balloon, honest mistake, but then to overkill and just be like, all right, everyone, we're going to shoot over 1,400 rounds into the sky.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we made a big oopsie. It's going to look bad if they know that we just shoot at anything. All right, we got to have some kind of fall. All right, you 20 random guys, you are the reason why.
Yeah.
You're probably conspirators. And it's just like, these poor guys weren't doing anything, and they take the rap for it for some other jackass's mistake. You know, and it's just an unfortunate thing of just a crazy times will make people go insane. Like, you know, it was probably a terrible, like, tense environment that just got worse.
Ripping each other apart.
Yeah.
So this event inspired another movie. This is the one that I tried to mention in our first episode when I was like, isn't there another Spielberg movie?
No,
I was thinking of my
Spielberg.
notes for this. The film 1941 is loosely based on this event. And then there's also literally a movie called
Battle Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Wait, 1941 is based on this event?
So my notes say.
I've never seen 1941.
Yeah.
Neither have I.
I think because I think the plot is about.
I don't want to know. Don't even
Okay.
tell me. But Battle
on.
Los Angeles. There was a very familiar person to us that was pretty upset about the timing of the release of the film Battle Los Angeles, which has Michelle Rodriguez in it, and I can't remember anybody else who's in there.
Battle Los Angeles.
Aaron or something Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart.
Two-Face.
Yeah.
Thank
Anyways,
you for smoking.
movie is very terrible.
Yes.
But and it's got some cool. They have some cool designs of the aliens. Anyways, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Our good friend Jose Escamilla was very upset that movie was coming out when it did come out, because he claims that it was part of a conspiracy to try to drown him out.
Oh
Which
my god.
I don't think it was, because I'm pretty sure it was just to try to bring filming back to LA, and then it never really worked.
Yeah.
Because the taxes here are just insane.
Ye-
But Anyways, that's besides the point.
You know what it was?
Freaking Jose.
The Hollywood elite got together and they're like, listen, this guy, Jose Escamilla, is out there and he's ruining everything. You know what we're going to do? We're going to throw together a piece of crap action movie that has Aaron Eckhart and Michelle Rodriguez, and we're going to release it over his press conference of Skyfish.
Well,
That way no one will know who this fool is.
apparently,
Huh?
that year that Battle Los Angeles came out,
Was it 2011?
I think so.
Oh.
Jose Escamilla came out with his film Battle of Los Angeles,
Ooh.
my
which is
gosh.
why he thinks they made that movie to try to drown him out.
Aha.
Did we
And-
ever do any more research to see if he actually passed away? Because
Yeah,
I'm
'cause-
under the
No,
impression.
I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
Yeah, I did, and I
Oh
think.
my gosh, we're gonna be in so much trouble.
What the heck?
Let me look
No.
this up real quick.
I know we talked about him in Skyfish, and I think our biography said he died in like 2003 from falling off a cliff, trying to catch a skyfish with his teeth. Like,
Yeah, he apparently died in December of 2018.
Oh,
Yeah.
then
But-
maybe he did.
Oh, right. Well,
Oh my gosh, there's a tweet from Lauren Coleman about it.
Really?
whoa.
Oh snap!
Uh-oh.
What's going on?
Yeah, Lauren Coleman tweeted in December of 2018.
He said,
Rest
Jose-
in peace, my dear friend.
Shoot.
The man who I respect more than anyone else, and anyone who tarnishes your name will be thrown into the fire.
Jose
don't drag Lauren Coleman's name down like that.
Jose Escamilla, ufologist, producer, and director, was known for Celestial Rods, The Smoking Gun Evidence, and Donnie something that I cannot pronounce.
Donnie Darko.
Some note him as the discoverer of rods. He died.
He was a rod, alright.
He died in December of 2018.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right, because I think we covered him in like March or April. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh,
He just passed away.
the
Dang.
bassist of the Yardboards
Yeah.
passed away,
Dang, that's
Jose
crazy.
Escamilla.
I feel bad now because I talk a lot of crap about Jose Escamilla. Not
Yeah.
that I don't talk a lot of crap about him. It's just his theories and his ideas and his.
They're just completely out there.
It's-
I mean,
It's a lot.
you know,
I honestly have no idea where he gets those.
I like
theories.
just saying his name though. His name is so
Yeah.
fun to
Jose
say.
Escamilla.
Anyways, if you're wondering where you can find Battle of Los Angeles, directed, edited, produced by, and acted in Jose Escamilla,
Check the nearest blockbuster. by
actually,
you.
I could not find it anywhere. It's not on IMDb. His
Yeah.
other films are on IMDb, but that one isn't. And
Yeah.
I also,
It got buried.
it got buried. I literally just could not find it.
Yeah.
I found one article talking about it, and it was like a quote by him talking about how they're trying to drown him out. But other than that, there's nothing.
What if it's a battle for Los Angeles, but it's Jose Escamilla waging a one-man war against the Skyfish trying to take
Oh.
out LA?
Oh man.
And it's just him in his backyard running around. Oh man, I'm sorry. I know the guy passed away, but just like everything that comes out about him is just something more ridiculous than the last.
It really is.
It sounds like a fun guy.
He
We
probably
had-
was.
We had talked earlier about there not being any cell phones in this time
Mhm.
and how we wished that there were. But there was only what I could find one photo that
Yeah.
came out of this event that ended up in the
Mm.
newspapers.
The spotlight one, right?
Yeah, and yeah, you can. I think if you just literally Google Battle of Los
it
Angeles,
pops
you'll
up.
see this picture, and it's been enhanced many times and like edited and things
They
like that.
Played with the contrast
Yeah,
and stuff.
because it appears like there's a saucer in the air and there's a bunch of searchlights on it.
Yeah,
But
they say that's a result of the tweaking of the image,
Mm-hmm.
just increase the contrast in the black and white.
mhm.
Yeah, when you increase the contrast, it just makes a UFO show
it just
up.
makes a UFO.
But
show
like,
up.
what were they pointing at? What were they putting the
knows?
searchlights on? You know?
A weather balloon.
I don't know.
Oh, you
Oh.
know, we
And that's what got me,
huh?
because like we said in the beginning of the episode, I firmly believed that it was not aliens for a cool minute until
Mm.
Jasmine told me to keep researching, and then
You lost the faith, and then you found it again.
well, because the question arose, they were firing artillery rounds for an hour to an hour and a half
Mm-hmm.
at a weather balloon,
Yeah.
And they never found it.
and they never found it
There was no wreckage recovered or anything like that.
for an hour.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, that's suspicious to me. Like, what were they shooting at?
Mhm.
What triggered it? Like, surely a weather balloon
It-
wouldn't have triggered it.
It was swamp gas. That's why the bullet kept
Yeah.
passing through. You know what? We were talking about weaponized balloons earlier.
Yeah.
A good one way to weaponize a balloon is, remember Balloon Boy from a couple years ago?
No.
Dude, don't even get me started. When I was home in July and I visited my family, my mom and I watched an hour-long documentary about Balloon Boy and his
Oh,
family.
Yeah.
Dude,
Who's Balloon Boy?
He
you don't remember Balloon Boy?
he's the modern day Cryptid.
Wait, what did he
Okay,
do?
so I don't remember what year it was.
Is he like Bat
It was
Boy?
a few years ago.
No.
I'm
Get
sure
this.
you'll remember this, okay? There was this family, the Heaney family, and they were working on this project. They were making this giant helium UFO saucer type thing. I don't even remember the details.
The dad was an inventor.
Yeah.
And he would invent different things, and so he was making a thing that would help.
Sounds like
to-
a movie.
Right?
We'll get this. Keep going.
So he made this balloon reader that you could put up to a certain degree, and I think it could pick up certain air variations or something. He was trying to make something that he could patent to sell. And
Honey,
so,
I Shrunk the Kids.
Honestly, the Balloon Boy thing could be its own podcast episode on a different show because I mean, they made an hour-long documentary about it, and there's so many conspiracies because the
There's a lot
dad,
of things don't
he
add up.
wanted to be famous. He was pursuing a career in, like, reality television and being an inventor and all of it. He was on Wife Swap and all of
Okay,
this other
Wife
stuff.
Swap,
So what
whoa.
happened was his son, Falcon, and his other children were all helping him on this project. And there's video footage of them getting ready to, like, take the balloon, set the balloon off. But, like, the ropes break and it starts to fly away before they want it to. And, like, the dad freaks out and whatever.
They're watching, and he's like, all right, it's off for its main voyage. And then I think the sister goes, Dad, Falcon's in the balloon.
Yeah.
Huh?
And then the
he-
balloon takes off.
It flies up. And so the kid's in the balloon. There's like a little inside of it.
What?
And
It literally looks like a UFO.
And it just proceeds to list off flying and gets higher and higher. And they're just like,
So the whole country's watching the news because there's live coverage
the
of this
the mom called
silver...
911 saying that our son is in a balloon. It's taken off. I'm worried someone's gonna shoot it down. We need help.
This balloon is traveling across the skies. The whole country's watching the news. They think this little boy is in this balloon. They're chasing it down. Eventually, it falls to the ground, and there's, like, footage of this guy running through the desert to try and get to the balloon because they think this kid's in the balloon. They're praying he hasn't fallen out. They're praying he's still alive, praying he's not injured, whatever. They run, and they get to the balloon, and he's not in the balloon. So we're all like, where the F's the kid? And then the kid comes out from his attic, and he's like, I was hiding because Daddy yelled at me. Because I guess when they were working on the balloon, like, Falcon did something, and the dad yelled at him, and so he ran away and whatever.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay,
What?
false alarm. But there's so much sketchiness with this story because they did a news interview.
Yeah.
I'm really hyped about this, you guys. There's this interview where, like, the dad asks the kid, well, didn't you hear us calling your name? And the kid was like, yeah. And then the dad was like, well, why didn't you come out? And then the kid goes, well, you guys said
Yeah.
that we did it for the show.
Yeah.
And so everyone was like,
Weird.
And then
hold up.
Record scratch moment.
Yeah. Record scratch
Weird.
moment. And so the dad tried to backpedal and said, oh, you know, we had told him that we were going to be on the news and we had to tell the story for the TV show and blah, blah, blah. But then you look at his background about wanting to be, like, in
Right.
reality television. So they think it was all a scam. And
Yeah.
the dad denies that it was a scam to this day. But I tell all of this because I want to say that a few years later, the kids started a band. And if you go on YouTube and look up Balloon Boy No Hoax, you will see a hard rock screamo music video of these kids screaming, Balloon Boy No Hoax. It is the most... I don't even know. I don't know what my fascination with this whole story is.
Yeah.
That's very
And
strange.
it was a very long tangent, but we were talking about balloons, and Alex brought up Balloon Boy, and I just had to tell you,
Had to open the bottle.
it's crazy.
But picture that kid with a gun
But imagine
and
if I
its
had
weaponized
just,
balloon.
imagine if I had just lied and said I knew what Balloon Boy was.
Did you know?
No, I did not.
If you would have been like, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm like, okay, great. Well, imagine he had a gun. And moving
And
on.
moving on.
But no, that was it's a pretty. there's
It's
some-
interesting.
there-
yeah.
there's- there-
no, hoax. That's how the song goes.
Oh man.
It's amazing.
Anyways, Jasmine brought up the 80s earlier, so we're
Yeah.
gonna bring it up again.
I did?
Yeah.
When did I bring up the 80s?
1983 is when they revealed that
1983.
Oh, yeah.
it was
Okay.
a
And in
piece of swamp gas.
In 1984, the government disclosed.
Took over
Actually, that's
everything.
not true. MJ12,
Oh.
Majestic 12. I feel like we're gonna be talking about this again, soon, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, what the heck?
So 1984, UFO hobbyist and film producer Jamie Shandera received anonymously a mailed set of documents on film of the creation of a committee of 12 government officials and scientists by Harry S. Truman, with a briefing by Dwight D. Eisenhower. And this supposedly took place in the year 1947. And supposedly it discusses the government cover-up of a UFO found at Roswell and another near the Texas-Mexico border.
Yeah.
Apparently, supposedly a fraud.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get into that more probably in the next episode, actually, in Roswell. But people think that MJ12 is somehow associated with the cover-up of this.
Balloon Boy.
Oh.
Oh.
What- Alien human hybrids.
Alien human hybrids. And, well, they think that it might have something to do with the fact that it was just weather balloons that they were firing at over the city of Los Angeles during 1942.
You know what'd be crazy?
What's up?
This is just a little thought. But what if UFOs were alien weather balloons that they sent out to other planets to check out what the temperature was? Just to see if the Earth was hospitable. So they're like, oh, let's put some weather balloons over there.
And they just keep getting shot
And
down.
they keep getting shot down.
They're
and,
like, what is
and
it
then,
about them?
And it's just like, man, why do they keep shooting out weather balloons? And then our government's like, they're weather balloons. Because technically they are.
Yeah.
But we're just like, you're a liar. It's like, no, it's a weather balloon because it's an alien weather balloon.
I mean, that's a theory.
A little snafu, if you will.
A little snafu.
I wonder. Well, hold on.
Someone's just gonna have to create a whole
What year did this happen?
1942.
an anthology of short stories centered around Alex's theories.
Yeah.
Because I know there's the one about the Diet Love Pass, about a dinosaur
Yeah.
unfreezing.
Coming out, eating those people, ate that lady's face, and then got frozen again when an avalanche hit. I'm telling you, man.
and then there's also this one now that they're alien weather balloons.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? They're all good ideas for short stories.
Yeah. We're coming for you, Hollywood.
So.
I wish I knew somebody who had been alive when this happened. Like, I know I have grandparents or whatever, but they don't live in California.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have known. Like, I want to talk to someone who might have witnessed it, you know?
Yeah, my grandparents didn't move here till the 70s, so
Mm.
they long after.
That's
Dang,
great.
you know what? I think I might.
Yeah?
Think you might know someone?
Maybe.
Ooh.
No. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll find out.
We'll find out. Well, maybe we'll throw out some fishing lures and see if we can't find somebody who might have a first-hand account, because that would be wild to.
Yeah, it would be.
It's just so interesting because there's so many theories. Like, there's so many different explanations from different government agencies, and they can't tell us which thing it was.
And it's a pretty big piece of, like, Hollywood history.
Yeah.
It's just like the night that Hollywood exploded.
I'm surprised
Like,
there's not more movies about it. You would think that there'd be some good ones.
Yeah.
Apparently Spielberg made one, and I didn't know that.
What if Tarantino, instead of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being in the 60s, it was during the 40s?
Oh my
And it
gosh.
was about that.
And it was just, yeah, it's that
Dude. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Part 2.
1942.
Featuring a young
Part
Rick Dalton.
1942.
Part 1942.
Yeah.
Featuring a young Rick Dalton.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be pretty dope.
That would be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I'd watch that. It'd be a good prequel. But yeah, that was pretty wild. A big piece. Yeah, no one talks about. Yeah, just like, hey, in one night in 1942, just Hollywood exploded for like an hour and a half, and everyone just kind of went about their way after it. It's like, well, that happened.
Well, I said everything I wanted to say.
So you think it was an alien?
I think he's still on the fence.
Still
I
on
think
the
I
fence?
am. Because it just doesn't make sense to me. But there's also no factual... There's no witnesses for a UFO?
Well,
Because everyone says they saw planes.
No, remember there was that big, large object that was orange in color and,
That's right.
and glowed?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a thing.
Yeah, let me see. I think I got like a quote or two where somebody
I
said...
just don't know what it was.
A woman, air raid warden witness reported about the UFO. The object was huge. It was really enormous. It was practically hovering right over my house. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was hovering there in the sky. It hardly moved at all. It looked like a lovely pale orange and about the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I could see it very good because it was really close. It was enormous. So apparently people are seeing a big giant
Orb.
Because, I mean, how big is a weather balloon? Like 10 feet across?
I have
If
no
that?
idea.
Like,
It's not that big.
yeah, so
I mean, it's big, but...
yeah, but you know, if you saw a weather balloon above your house, it'd be like, it looks like the car, like a car selling place, like a promotional balloon, like broke loose, you know, like that's about the size of like promotional items.
Yeah.
So you would be like, oh, it looks like a big balloon, like what the hell?
And how big did she say it was?
She didn't say. She said it was enormous. She said because it was hovering over the house, and I mean, if it was a balloon, because he said it was motionless balloon, it'd be like
kind of moving around.
Yeah. And then somebody else, another witness said, I will never forget what a magnificent sight it was. It was gorgeous, and what beautiful colors. So apparently people are seeing like an orange, maybe even different colors thing. So, I mean, I feel like you could be like, tell us between a balloon and something that's clearly operating different, you know, from like air and gust. And so, very strange incident.
Well, you know what's annoying about today? Today, there are so many freaking drones in the air. Like, I've seen some videos on Facebook recently, actually, that people have posted, and they're like, what is it? Like, it's lights doing weird formations in the sky.
Yeah.
But, because everyone has this fascination with drones, and everyone does these drone performances, like, you have no depth perception. If you see these lights, you could think that there's some giant object off in the distance, when really they're just, like, a couple blocks over, and they're, like, drones.
I mean, I think we've all seen Spider-Man Far From Home, and it's been out for a while, so it's a little bit of a spoiler if you want to skip ahead a couple minutes. But that's a big plot point, is Mysterio uses drones to carve an illusion of what he wants to see. And it's interesting that, you know, how many years later we're like, oh, you know, people are going to like, oh, something in the sky, let's shoot it down towards, like, now there's things in the sky all the time, and they're kind of normalized.
Yeah. And, like, how many people out there have seen an alien spacecraft, but they don't even know because they think it's a drone.
It's like, oh, it's an Amazon delivery package.
Bro, what if?
What if the aliens are just like, well, our work here's done. They don't even pay attention to us anymore.
I know. We're not giving them the attention they want anymore.
Oh, no.
They feel neglected.
Give us the cold shoulder.
Is that it for this week, guys? Or
I think so.
Or you still have more?
I just have one final thing to say, because we talked about the paranoia of the time.
Okay.
Talked about what the military says it was, what they claim to be, what they think they saw. And I just want to add, I believe Battle Los Angeles, which was kind of inspired by the event, which overshadowed Jose Escamilla's masterpiece, I think was released, 2011?
Yeah.
That was also the 69th anniversary of the event.
Ah, 69.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that's definitely not all of that can be said, but that's just kind of dipping the toe of what the hell happened for the Battle of Los Angeles.
Yeah. Who knows?
Like, who knows? If you know, let us know. You should email us at cryptidcampfirepodcast@gmail.com. And, you know...
If I wanted to message you directly, if I wanted to look you in the eyes, Alex...
Oh, and tell you the story.
And tell you the story.
With the conviction.
Yeah.
If you wanted to message me online, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. That's Alex Daikaiju. Alex, DAIKAIJU. And what about yourself?
What about me? If you want to look me in the eyes, buddy, we're going to have a chit-chat. You can find me probably at Cryptid Campfire on Instagram. That's probably the best way to reach me. Feel free to DM. I respond most of the time, so...
And what about yourself?
Yeah, if you want to talk to me about the Balloon Boy scandal, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. My name is the same on both platforms. It's Jasmine May with, JASMINEMAEWITH.
Awesome. We want to thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, you can find plenty more through our Instagram. We have a Twitter for Cryptid Campfire that me and Jasmine kind of co-run. We have a YouTube channel. We've been putting vlogs up there of our adventures doing photo shoots and climbing up Bigfoot mountains.
Honestly, the vlogs are so good. Like, I rewatched them multiple times.
They're pretty good. If you want to know what we look like, you know, how we interact in a three-dimensional aspect, watch those videos.
Have fun watching our three-dimensional interactions on your 2D screen, busters.
You plebe. But yeah, thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week when something weirder happens.
Bye!